Neha, are you faculty from Prestige? Your mic is muted.
Host unmuted me. Host allowed.
Now you have been allowed. Are you faculty from Prestige?
No, sir, from IPS. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Okay, you are serving at IPS. So what?
Yes,
okay,
sir.
you must be attending from there in that
Yes,
case.
yes, sir.
So who is from the Prestige?
Anshika Saxena.
Okay, so we'll be starting the session with your permission, sir.
You were half audible. Can you repeat what you were saying?
Yes, sir. Shall we start the session?
Actually, we have said yes couple of minutes back. So who is going to conduct the session?
Sir, I'll be there and Sonal ma'am will be joining us shortly.
Okay, fine. So how many participants are there? Right
Sir,
now you have lined up.
Yes, sir. We have 19 participants with us.
Have they logged in, all of them?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, what will be the modus operandi of running the session?
Sir, we'll be starting with the introduction and then followed by it. Then we'll quickly move towards the presentation.
Okay, and the question, and who will be calling the presenters?
Sir, I'll be the one who will going to call the presenters.
Okay, and how many professors are there chairing the sessions, different portfolio?
Yes, sir. So there'll be 3 panelists we are going to have.
Okay.
And yes, sir. Shall we start it?
Yeah, we should. I believe if other panelists, co-panelists agree.
Yes, yes, sir.
Professor Roberts agree, Professor Somesh agrees to that.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
The harder you work for something, the greater you'll feel when you achieve it. A very warm good afternoon to all the honorable dignitaries, learned delegates, respected principal sir, keen faculties, participants, and my esteemed audience. I, Anshika Saxena, co-rapporteur of session, feel privileged to welcome you all on behalf of Prestige Institute of Management, Gwalior to 12th International Conferences, Technical Session 2nd, Marketing Management First. I feel profusely overjoyed to take this opportunity to introduce our keynote speaker for the session, Dr. Robert L. Williams, sir, who has spent nearly 20 years in teaching at various universities and is currently at the AACSP accredited Lair School of Business at Clarkson University, ranked in the top 125 institutions in the US. This followed 20 years as a practitioner in Fortune 50 by 500 companies. He has published in peer-reviewed journals, has co-authored a marketing textbook, Palgrave Macmillan, 2017, written numerous textbooks chapters on marketing and management, as well as presented at numerous international conferences and workshops. His current academic research interests focus on destination marketing, gastro-tourism development, 6+ gastro cluster creation and promotion, and wine marketing. He's also a partner and co-founder of Marketing Associates, a firm that specializes in branding. And along with this, it is also included with destination marketing in the service of tourism industries and entrepreneurial ventures. Sir is also a partner of a research project, gastrogathering.com, focused on gastro-tourism research and consulting, and the founding partner in wiresearch.com, which is a leader in the wine in a can market. Sir, I would like to request you to kindly throw some light on the keynotes.
Well, thank you very much for having me. It's great to be back, even though it's virtual. My wife Helena and I were there in 2018, I guess, and the hospitality was phenomenal. So we do miss being there, but hopefully we will be able to be there with everyone in spirit. Let me see if I can. Okay, let's close this out. There we go. What I'd like to talk about today, as the conference indicated, using digitalization. Now, as a tool, we know that it will increase the efficiency of existing operations, but it also creates its own opportunities. And I think what we're going to find through these sessions in this conference, that the amount of opportunities are quite astounding. A couple of statistics for some background. The information and communication technologies are more widespread today than even electricity. They reach nearly 4 billion people worldwide. Now, to put this into context, since 1980, the PC data storage capability of a personal computer has increased over 100 million times. So what we're seeing today is some of the dramatic increase finally reaching down into all aspects of business and, in fact, all of society. To put this into some historical context, we did some research, as was mentioned. We had written a book on vintage marketing and branding. But it's interesting that back in the 1900s, the mail system in the United States was considered technically state of the art, as well as the railroad network connecting the East Coast of the United States to the West Coast, which meant the whole country could be served by a transportation network. And the US mail system meant that you could communicate with everyone individually at their house. And that spawned Sears. Sears was the Amazon of the 1900s, and the similarities between the two are actually quite dramatic. We often think of Amazon today as this huge company that owns all the retail landscape. So did Sears. In fact, at the height of Sears processing, they were sending a large catalog, 500 pages, to almost every home in America. They were using the mail system to receive the orders with the check and the orders back to Sears, and then using the railroad network technologies to deliver. And interestingly enough, Sears was the big data corporation of the 1900s. Using their catalog process, they had a collection of 200 variables, different data point variables for each of their customers. So the amount of information they had was dramatic. This spawned the fast-moving consumer growth, consumer goods marketing and packaging. Companies like Procter & Gamble and Heinz, Quaker Oats began packaging for individual sales, which led to mass merchandising and created a century of branding. And what's key to that century is what's known as the relative value of a product versus the competition. So you could compare brand A versus brand B, and advertising as a push into the marketplace. The general purpose technology, which is a large category indicating the dominant technology of the era, in the past was steam power, electricity, and the internal combustion engine. Today, the general purpose technology is computers, and they have ushered in what's been described as the fourth industrial revolution. What this means is that digital technologies, instead of traditional growth, you're taking Moore's law of computer chips doubling, increasing every 18 months. And due to exponential growth rates, you're getting a exponential growth. And that leads you to Kurzweil's law of accelerating returns. So in short, what's happening is things are speeding up much faster because the computer as a GPT, as indicated by things like, as I mentioned, the PC data, is creating tremendous growth and tremendous change. We add on top of that Metcalfe's law of network efficiency and network effect. Instead of having peer-to-peer, you can connect in a network, but when you connect to the value n squared, you get a huge and dramatic increase in capability. And that's what we're getting today. What does this lead to? Well, it leads to the platform effect, which means instead of a traditional business model, a platform model means you have only a few, but very powerful platforms. So you get Google, you get Facebook, you get YouTube, you get things coming out of China, whether it's WeChat or so on. Very powerful. They take advantage of the network effect. They take advantage of the GPT of computers. And that now becomes the basis for competitive advantage and for doing business. So what does this mean? Instead of a century of market push, characterized by branding and advertising and segmenting the market, etc., and the historical use of big data, you now get bigger data. And that's generated from counting and controlling everything. And you may have heard the phrase, the Internet of Things, IoT. And what that means is with sensors and cameras, we count everything, we watch everything, we sense everything. And the amount of data that's generated is tremendous. What this means is that instead of pushing out into the marketplace, the manufacturer can listen to the market, collect all this data, and be pulled into the market and satisfy that market demand, as opposed to trying to guess and push and aim at what the customer wants. They now need to listen to the customer as opposed to talking to the customer or talking at the customer. So what is the effect on marketing business? What is it that we care about? Well, first of all, the three trends are a digitalization to control the conversation with the customer. Secondly, to customize the conversation with the customer. And finally, using all this power to be able to continuously adapt because of your conversation with the customer. How do we control? Well, there's two parts I want to talk about. One is a feature called surveillance capitalism. And that is defined as the universality which claims human experience as free raw material for translation into behavioral data. Basically, what that means is the information that we provide to Google by putting in search terms, everything we upload on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, and we tweet and we talk, all of that information is raw material that we provide and customers provide for free. And those companies get that raw material for free, they collect it, and they translate it into data, and they sell it. So the term has been given as surveillance capitalism, which is different than traditional capitalism. Second thing involved with control is blockchain technology. And this is an unprecedented concentration of knowledge, which produces, unprecedented concentration of knowledge, which produces, and an equally unprecedented concentration of power. It is a secure technology for translating information, so it's encrypted. And that very encryption gives everyone confidentiality, and they are anonymous. But at the same time, it can lead to an unprecedented concentration of power if you are the company that is controlling it. The second aspect, customizing for your customer. We talked earlier about branding, the decade of branding, and one brand relative to another, being better than your competitor. Well, in the age of absolute value, which means we have a wide availability of data, remember bigger data, Internet of Things, counting and controlling everything. You have a wider availability of data, and you have peer likes, which takes the place of the manufacturer advertising, and now it puts more of the control with your consumer. When peers like on Amazon, or peers like on YouTube likes, or Twitter likes, it allows consumers to get an absolute value of something as opposed to the relative value that the manufacturer is trying to convince you. You ask your friends, is this good? And they reply yes or no. So you have more of an absolute answer. What this means is that the traditional diffusion of innovation curve becomes much quicker and much steeper because, again, things are networked, the availability of data is out there, and when things begin to take off, they do it much quicker and much faster. And unlike what you might have heard that retail is dead, that Amazon killed retail, that's not true. It means retail is being engineered. Retail is being customized for the customer because we're going back to the return of the individual consumer voice. We now have the data that we can make a micro segment of one, and we can make a micro segment of all the 7 billion or so people on Earth if we get to that point. It also means you get technologies like an emotion chip, which is based on FCAS, which stands for Facial Action Coding System. So they've developed this system that has 6 basic emotions that a human shows: fear, happiness, excitement. And by using the Internet of Things and viewing people, they can actually find the emotion. Whether or not you say how you feel, the video can capture and determine your emotions. So again, retail is becoming re-engineered, and the values are becoming more absolute, which allows for individual customization, which means businesses have to constantly adapt. We use AI and learning systems to try to take all that data and transform it into value. If you can't control the data, you won't be able to understand what you're looking at. And that's why computer AI and learning systems are trying to do that. But it also means that there's a rise of what's defined as talentism, which means leveraging the softer skills, because the things that the robot can do, let the robot do that. But robots have a hard time with creativity and innovation, and that's where people do. So leverage the softer skills. It means that management has to develop responsive decision-making and constantly reevaluate their experience and keep themselves up to speed, because this absolute data and this AI information is coming in. But it means employees have to constantly learn new skills, that the shelf life of their education and their skills gets cut in half. So let's give some examples. One is what's a project that we've been working on called Gastro-net. And we've decided to address the tourism and destination marketing aspect in economies, because in most countries, tourism roughly results in a roughly 10 to 20% of the GDP. And what's valuable about that is that it has a multiplier effect, that the tourists come in and they spend, and all the things related to tourism then create a much larger effect than just the economic spending of money. Even more specifically within tourism is what's known as a segment known as gastro-tourism or gastronomic tourism, which is defined as the intentional pursuit of appealing, authentic, memorable culinary experiences while traveling internationally, regionally, or locally. The value is that it offers great revenue potential, since our research has shown that 50% of all travelers are foodies or gastro-tourists. Why are these tourists valuable? Well, they travel more than traditional tourists that want to see the Eiffel Tower or the Taj Mahal. They travel more often, they stay longer, they spend more money, they generate more word of mouth, and they post more often on social media. And remember, if they're posting on social media, they are creating absolute value. And gastro-tourists cross all ages, genders, and income levels. So it's not just the young, it's not the old, it's not the rich, it's all demographics. Which means developers value them because it boosts local economies, because the money is coming into the local economy. It's not circulating just within the economy. It creates local jobs and a upskilled workforce. And by creating standards for gastro-tourists, it involves elevating the living standards for the people in those local economies. Obviously, India is a dramatic country in terms of its, I'll call it its raw material of food and hospitality. You have a range of different tastes of the same dish within the whole country, different from side to side and top to bottom, but even if it's the same dish. So the vision for India is to positively impact local Indian economies and living standards through new or expanded gastro-tourism destination development that highlights India's world-class regional cuisines and unparalleled hospitality. So let's relate this to today. Prior to COVID, the international tourism trends included, the first one was seeking experiences, not just looking at something, not just taking pictures of something, but experiential aspects. Second trend was personalization. Third was high touch and high tech. And unfortunately, over tourism and the implications that came from over tourism. Post-COVID, we now have still seeking experiences, but health and safety are number one. So the tourists seek safe experiential tourism. Personalization is next. digitalization now is no longer high touch and high tech. It's no touch and high tech. And over tourism is no longer a problem. Now that means less tourists, but it also means the problems of over tourism have gone away. So let's talk about the number one health and safety issue. No touch, high tech. One example is voice activated technology. The pandemic is causing people to not touch things, and it's causing companies in the food and beverage industry to really signal that they are safe. Some of the ways they do that are, for example, face and voice recognition in elevators, contactless cards and kiosks, self-guided voice and motion activated tours, and voice command robots. So as I mentioned, the Gastro-net Platform is designed to easily identify gastro destinations across the globe that have 6 or more gastro attractions that meet minimum infrastructure and memorability criteria. It is a platform, and as such, it will help control and customize the conversation with the customer via an app and via a collection of the data, which is continuously adapted to the reality of the customer experience. When they experience something, it gets loaded into the platform just like an Instagram or a Twitter, and passed out to, in an absolute value sense, to the rest of the community. So in conclusion, we are now in the 4th industrial revolution, and computers are the general purpose technology. Digital technologies are growing at exponential rates, and therefore the platform as a business model requires that marketers use digitalization to control and customize the customer conversation and to continuously adapt, keeping in mind that digitalization is still only a tool to assist management strategy to understand and fulfill customer needs. So with that, I thank you, and I'll take any questions if we still have time.
Thank you so much, Robert, sir. Participants, if you have any question, you can ask, sir, regarding it.
And of course, I listed our email there.
I'm sure, sir, they would be more, they are eager to give their presentation first, then they'll be asking you questions regarding it. They must be scared about their presentations right now.
Okay.
Can I ask one question to Professor Robert?
Sure, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. First of all, I'll congratulate you for a wonderful, insightful presentation that you have made. Impact of digitalization on the way business are adapting, and then the impact of how the gastronomical tourism was happening earlier, and then the impact of COVID, now how things are changing. In the backdrop of COVID, how do you see that nobody knows actually when the things are going to settle down? People are keeping their fingers crossed because gastronomical tourism, culinary preferences. So is there any study which has been conducted in the COVID era that perhaps which may foresee, apart from this touch side, the consumer preferences, changes in consumer preferences concerning their culinary choices?
Well, we have done some research. We have a current survey that we're summarizing now. The thing about gastro tourists is by definition and by nature, they're very adventurous. So we find that they will be some of the first ones, because if you think of an Anthony Bourdain, they will go out and they will eat almost anything. And so wearing a mask or worrying about COVID is not as important to them as traditional or other tourists. I think we would be wrong if we could give any hard facts and figures on when the world will become normal, because we don't know what normal is. We thought in the United States it was going to be a couple of weeks and then a couple of months, and now we don't know. So what our research has shown is that gastro tourists are quite adventuresome, and they really want to get involved. I know when we were there in Delhi and in Gwalior, we went out and ate street food, and people told us, "Oh, no, don't eat the street food." And we looked around and we said, "Look, everyone else is eating it. Let's try it." And it was delicious. And so hopefully when things open up, if we watch the tourists, they might be the gastro tourists, they might be a leading indicator as to when more people will come.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you very much. Yes, Sonal, you can go ahead with your schedule.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And sorry for the delay, sir. Actually, I was involved in the anchoring of the inaugural session, so the session got delayed here. I'm really sorry for that. My
Quite
apologies. Anshika, ma'am, you can continue.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your deep knowledge with us.
That's my pleasure.
Next, we have with us Dr. Somesh Dhamija, sir, as our co-session chair for this afternoon. A very well-known name in fraternity of management, currently sir is heading Management Department, Institute of Business Management in GLA University, Mathura. Sir also holds the position of Dean Consultancy and Admission Coordinator of the university. Sir has a judicious blend of corporate exposure along with academic acclaim spanning over a period of more than 2 decades. Sir has got published a number of research papers, both international and national, in India as well as abroad. Also, Sir has authored and edited books, proceedings, and journals on various aspects of management, and in various capacities has draftly organized a series of international and national conferences, seminars, and synopsia on various relevant and congruent issues. At the same time, Sir has been at the helm of a number of management development programs, training programs, and faculty development programs for various organizations of reputation as a competent facilitator. Sir has attended an international leadership program at Budapest, Hungary, titled The Precautionary Principle, Governance of Innovation and Innovations in Governance, held in June-July 2017 at Central European University, sponsored by European Environmental Agency. Sir has also attended the Environmental Agency and the Asia Pacific Leadership Program on Environmental for Sustainable Development, held in September 2017 at Tongji University, Shanghai, China, which was sponsored by the UN Environment. Sir, I would like to request you to kindly address the esteemed gathering.
Thank you, ma'am, for such a nice introduction. It's always a pleasure to hear good about ourselves as a human weakness. First of all, I would like to congratulate Professor Robert for such an apt presentation, very relevant to the topic. And as we have already in this particular domain and understand the mindset of participants that they must be waiting to that their number should come at the earliest. Just one thing I would like to add on, that though digitization is definitely proved itself as a vehicle of innovation, organizational growth, and effectiveness, but some point of time we need to understand the cost of digitization. See, up to a great extent, it impacted our value system, our lifestyle, and put all of us into a different race to survive. So the way we will be being modern day by day, we have to pay the cost for it. And this pandemic is a very relevant example. In earlier days, once it started, all of us will realize that we thought, oh, it's the problem of China, not us. But see what happened overnight. like it was a fire ignited somewhere and took the entire world into its catch. So I recall a very famous Indian poet, Gulzar Sahib, if you permit me. Basically, I'm more poetic into nature, so though it is in Hindi, but if Robert permit me and Professor Yogesh Upadhyay is okay, I would like to recite few lines written by Gulzar Sahib on use of digitization or this advanced era, that how they changed our life. I'll not recite the entire poetry because it's too long, but किताबें झांकती हैं बंद अलमारी के शीशों से, बड़ी हसरत से तकती हैं, महीनों अब मुलाकातें नहीं होती, वो शामें जो उनकी सोहबत में कटा करती थीं अब गुजर जाती हैं कंप्यूटर के पर्दों पर, बड़ी बेचैन रहती हैं किताबें, उन्हें अब नींद में चलने की आदत हो गई है. Means we stopped reading books, the basic thrust from which we used to get the knowledge. Now digitization has changed it. So a lot of cost is coming our way, and we are at this point of time is not able to predict the real cost of it. See, every good things or bad things have its own costs, and after effects will take time. Like what is happening with vaccination, that vaccine is there, but at this point of time, we cannot predict the real side effects of it because we are in too hurry to introduce it. I hope Robert will agree this because entire world is in that race. They let me be the first one to introduce. Up to a great extent, this happened with the digitization also. Everyone was in so hurry that without even realizing the cost we have to pay for it, we just went upon it like anything. So anyhow, it is a good thing, and definitely it is need of the hour that world need to move ahead, and we need to give something good to our next generation. So that credit goes to our generation that we introduce digitization for next generation to come, and definitely they will take ahead with a lot of positive outcomes. This is at this point of time from my end, due to the paucity of time. I hope that Yogesh ji will also understand that let's give the highest level of time to the participants. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir, for your noble thoughts and a wonderful poetry. Now, it's a great honor for me to introduce the session chair, Professor Yogesh Upadhyay, sir, who is at present Professor and Dean of Faculty of Management, Jivaji University, Gwalior. Sir has more than 60 published papers in national and international journals. His papers have been accepted and presented nationally at IIM Ahmedabad, ISB Hyderabad, IIM Bangalore, and internationally at many universities, including Harvard. His papers are accepted by premier associations like American Marketing Association and Association of Consumer Behavior. Sir has trained more than 500 faculties from prestigious institutions in research methodology and business analytics. Scholars who pursued PhD under him have won Best PhD awards at various forums nationally and internationally. Sir is also a recipient of prestigious Best Business Academic of the Year award for the year 2007, Osmania University, Hyderabad. The award was given by then Chairperson, Economic Advisory Council to Prime Minister and ex-Governor of RBI, Dr. C. Rangarajan. Sir has served in various universities in various capacities, varying from professor, head, dean, controller, chairperson, board of studies, director, nodal officer of to be set up university, pro vice chancellor, and vice chancellor. If we talk about the academic domain, Sir's major contribution is in the crafting numerous unique programs designed to serve the unique needs of end users by creatively bringing industry and other stakeholders on board in order to align them end to end. Sir, I would like to request you to kindly address the esteemed audience.
Am I audible, Ankisha?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, thank you very much. Your pronunciation seems like you are coming from moon. It is difficult to follow what you are saying, so it will take time for me to adapt to that. So anyway, it was a treat to listen Professor Roberts and Professor Somesh and this and about digitization and its impact on industry, the way industry has transformed itself, adapted itself the various platforms which have evolved as business models, and its impact on gastronomic tourism, pre-COVID, post-COVID. And also we were listening to Professor Somesh that what kind of digitalization has impacted teaching learning. So with this digitalization, there are various merits also, but I need to point out the hindsight of this digitalization. Maybe Professor Suman Saxena and other professors who are a part of this whole session must knowing that I read a great article that myth of work-life balance by digitalization. Earlier, people thought that if they are allowed to work from home, they will be able to balance their work life much better. So this COVID era has shattered many myths, including that. So even if you are serving from home, perhaps now people, students, everybody wants to move to their workplace, to their schools, to their colleges. So secondly, one more thing I'd like to in light of what the Professor Somesh was doing, suggesting, see, services and products they are somewhere within the contours of tangibility and intangibility. And in this era of COVID, the services which are more intangible in nature were able to survive more. Maybe gastronomic tourism may not have survived to that rate because there was more tangibility in that. But services which would be intangibly delivered, for example, this conference, take an example of this conference. Conference system has survived because it is more intangible in nature. Similarly, in case of businesses which are more intangible in nature, they have been survive. So we are, as Professor Robert pointed out, we are in the age of all of us. Therefore, I asked a question to Professor Ross: the implications for gastronomic tourism and how must language is going to take to place is a matter of it. So again, we have the limit when it is going to close, or what is the timeline of this session to close. I went through the ground rule of these sessions. Every participant has been given 2 to 10 minutes. So it's a privilege for me to be a part of to chair this session where we have enlightened professors like Professor Roberts, who has given a great keynote. Professor Somesh. I open the session for the participants, and I believe Sunil or Ankisha will be moderating the presentations. So I'll advise all the presenters to please keep your presentation within the time. And still to create some demeanor when the questions are going to be asked. So should we keep it after every paper, or should we allow a question answer session towards the end? So what is the format, Professor Sonal? Is there a common format?
Sir, we actually thought of allowing the panel members to ask questions after each presentation, but that would be your prerogative. If you would like to ask it at the end, we can do that.
The participants, if they have to ask, they will ask towards the end. Okay. And in between, after every paper, if panel members have to submit anything, they can. You are trying to create butterflies in the stomachs of participants in that way.
Right, sir.
Anyway, we are not going to trouble anyone. So you can start and carry on
okay,
one by one.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you. So shall we start, sir?
Please go ahead.
Exceeding the timeline.
Yeah, we'll be discussing the guidelines for the participants so that it becomes easier for them to understand.
Because in the digital era, you can mute them.
Yeah.
Right. Adaptation is there. See, in digital, Many things have changed. The demeanor, the whole way the conference is to be conducted has changed. So Professor Roberts, you would have loved to invite. See him again in Gwalior. That is the hindsight, but many more new things have come up. So please work on that mechanism and let's start that.
Okay.
Professor Sonal, I would like to add on, please do control them digitally, but do care about their emotions also.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
It's better to tell them the time limit in the beginning itself that this is the deadline. And I agree with Professor Yogesh that questions we can take care at the end of the session if you have paucity of time. So we have to manage it within the time frame itself. Rest is up to you the way you want.
All right, sir.
I think you
Robert,
can start now.
yeah, okay, sir. Robert, sir, any suggestion from your side?
We have to unmute him.
I'm sorry. Yes, no, I'm good.
So shall we start the session, sir?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Anshika ma'am, we can call the participants.
Okay, thank you so much, all of you. Before moving towards the presentation, I would like to brief the rules and regulations regarding the paper presentation. The speaker has to raise their hand and come forward when the PPT, with the PPT as soon as the name is announced. The speaker has to share his or her screen displaying the PPT. Time allotted to each presenter will be approximately 5+2, out of which 5 minutes for presentation and 2 minutes for question and answers. Time duration may further vary according to the panelists. All the participants are requested to have broadband connection, Wi-Fi. Login must be done from laptop, PC instead of mobile phones. Screen sharing rights will be given to all the participants. Now, moving towards the presentation. So the title of our first presentation is Key Drivers of Digitalization in Retailing Sector, a study of North Karnataka by Ms. Suvarna Hiremat and Dr. Prashant C. I would like to request the presenters to kindly come up on the stage for the presentation.
Hello.
Yes, hello ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Ma'am, please share your screen.
Yes, ma'am. Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, it is. It is visible.
Yes, ma'am. Shall I start, ma'am?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah. Very good afternoon to the dignitaries, panel members, and my fellow participants. I'm Suvarna Hiremat. I'm actually a research scholar doing my research under VTU, Vishwesvaraya Technological University, Belgaum, that is in Karnataka. And my co-author and my research guide is Dr. Prashant C. He is director of Department of Management in SDM Engineering College, Dharwad. And it's my privilege to be presenting this paper. The title of the paper is Key Drivers of Digitalization in Retailing Sector. And this is basically a study of North Karnataka. To introduce the technology, as we all know, in India has been adopted very quickly and is moving faster and is growing at a faster rate. Whereas retailers at the same time have been challenged with the customers' requirements for convenience as well as for the competitive price. So in this part of Karnataka, or rather in Indian scenario, retailers definitely are being challenged by the customers' requirements for their convenience as well as for the competitive price which the customers would look at. And the drivers for digitalization in retailing as a sector, when we look at, there are many factors, but research I found through literature review, I found that the changing demographics as well as the increased use of internet by the customers are the major factors which are driving this digitalization in this retail sector. My study is basically confined to organized retailing in North Karnataka, and the is, though there is a lot of digital transformation which is happening and which is impacting the physical stores, but the impact is not very clear as to what is the impact. Why is this impact happening on the retailing sector? So that is why what is the research gap I found, and my this paper is trying to address these factors. So India's organized retailing sector is growing rapidly. Urbanization due to increased disposable income as well as the changing demographics of the customers. And to give you an overview of Indian retail scenario, the retail scenario or the retail contributes up to 10% to the Indian GDP, and also the contribution of retail as a sector to the employment is also about 8%, and retail sector growth per annum is expected to be around 12%. And in this retail contribution, the share of organized retail is about 9%. So in Indian scenario, the organized retailing has been is not to that great extent, but we are expecting it to grow by 20 to 25% annually. So till now, the unorganized retailing is the one which is leading in India. It is about more than 90% of the outlets in India are unorganized. So my area of research is into organized retailing and to find the key drivers of digitalization in this organized retailing sector. The objectives of this paper are to enumerate the perspectives of digitalization for organized retailers, also to analyze the factors that lead to adoption of digitalization in the retailing sector, to understand what are the mediating roles of competition as well as the customer expectation to enforce digitalization from the organized retailers' point of view. So these are the basic objectives, and the research framework basically is to find out what are the influence of customer expectations and competition on the digitalization of organized retailers. And since both these customer expectations or customers and the competition are in the external environment of an organized retail outlet, so I'm trying to find out what could be their influence on the digitalization effect on retail outlets. So the research model is defined by 5 constructs. I've taken technology, digital promotion, customers, competition, and retail digitalization. These are the 5 constructs which I have taken for this paper. And this is my research model where the 5 constructs are there, and I have defined a few variables or items for each of these constructs. And these are the questions which have been asked to find out what are these indicators. Like for example, technology has 5 indicators, and digital promotion has 5 indicators again. Customer expectation around 4. Competition has 3 indicators. Retail digitalization has 4 variables. So these are certain questions which I have asked and which have been rated on a Likert scale, 7-point Likert scale. And the data has been collected from districts of North Karnataka. Districts have been and the for this survey or study, where from the data was collected from the owners who have started retail outlets and not corporate owned retail outlets, and these retail outlets are the outlets which are selling food and grocery only. 164 such outlets, organized retail outlets in North Karnataka. From the sample, and the question has been measured on 7-point Likert scale.
Ma'am, please conclude as your time is over now.
Sorry. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. 2 minutes. I'll just conclude. Okay. So I have used Smart PLS for this process of analysis, and my major conclusions are. So the major conclusions are organized retailers need to understand their customers' digital needs and take measures to digitalize their business. Actually, in this part of Karnataka, the retailers are accepting and adopting simple measures of digitalization, and which make it evident that digitalization should influence or would influence the perception of the customers as well as the performance of the retailers. But technology here doesn't, it is felt that technology is inherent part of digitalization of retail. So technology is embedded into digitalization. That is what is the understanding here. And it is not significantly influencing, like digital technology is not significantly influencing the digitalization of retailing. There are various other factors, for example, customer expectation and digital promotion. These are the major factors which are driving digitalization in organized retailing. So these are my few points which I would like to conclude. And these are the references. And thank you for giving me this opportunity. Over to the organizers.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
As per instructed by your respective panelists, the question and answers will be asked at the end of the session. So we'll quickly move towards our second presenter. The title of the second page is Measurement Project Involvement for Organic Food Products, a case study of Vadodara City by Ms. Ashwini Joshi and Dr. Anmol Randive. I would like to request the presenter to come forward for the presentation.
Hello. Good afternoon to all of you. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, kindly share your screen along with your video.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Please.
Just a moment.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Should I start?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, please switch on your video as well.
Yeah, I have already.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Please.
Yeah, so very good afternoon to the chairperson, the rapporteurs for the session, and my fellow participants. I am Ashwini Joshi, a research scholar at Navratna University, and I'll be co-presenting the paper with my co-author, Dr. Amol Randive, who is an associate professor with Navratna University, Vadodara. So the title of my study, as ma'am has already announced, is Measuring Consumer Involvement for Organic Food Products, a case study of Vadodara City. So these are the keywords of my research. So let me start by introducing the product that we have studied in this research, organic food products. So organic food products are essentially considered healthy by the consumers because they are free from toxic pesticides and fertilizers. And also they are free from genetically modified organisms. And a lot of stringent organic cultivation standards are met with in the production of such products. And they are grown under a system of agriculture without the use of chemicals, which works at a grassroots level, and it preserves the reproductive and capacity of the soil, and essentially produces nutritious food rich in vitality, which has natural resistance to diseases. So the variables of my study, firstly, involvement. Now, involvement is a term that was introduced in marketing from psychology in the year 1947 by Sheriff and Cantrell. And Tchaikovsky is an eminent author on this topic. She has given the definition of involvement as a person's perceived relevance of the object based on his inherent needs, values, and interests. She also gave a personal involvement inventory to measure involvement, which was again revised by her in 1994. And this model was again taken forward by Carmen Garcia and his fellow researchers, and it was named as Consequences of Involvement Questionnaire, which also gave 5 antecedents of involvement, namely affective link, search and information processing, social interaction, social relevance, and purchase purpose. So these are the objectives of the study. Firstly, to analyze the consumer involvement for OFP, to identify the antecedents of consumer involvement for OFP, to study purchasing intention of OFP, and finally the effect of consumer involvement on the purchasing intention for OFP. These are the hypotheses that we have formed, which are directly related to the objectives. First being the hypothesis to study the consumer involvement. Second, dealing with the correlation between antecedents of involvement. And lastly, analyzing the consumer involvement on purchasing intention. For the next slide, I would like to invite Dr. Randive to carry the presentation forward.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ashwini. A very good afternoon to all of you. So I'll quickly brief you about the research methodology that has been used in this research. So the research design that has been put into place is exploratory research, and it was based on, it was the objective was to analyze the impact of consumer involvement on purchasing intention for organic products in Vadodara city. We have used a convenient sampling for collection of data, and the sample size was roughly 200 respondents, again restricted to Vadodara city itself. We used a structured questionnaire And the tools for data collection within the structured questionnaire were actually divided into 3 parts. So one was statements for measuring consumer involvement. The second was statement for measuring purchasing intention, and the details about demographic information of respondents. So we have basically divided these into three sets of questions, and then we have collected data. Next slide, Ashwini.
Yes.
Yes. So the first and the second part of the questionnaire, we used a 5-point Likert scale that is from strongly agree to strongly disagree, and we've used some basic statistical tools for analysis, that is reliability analysis using Cronbach alpha values. I'll be discussing that further. Then we have used mean analysis, chi-square, t-test correlation, and regression analysis. Next. Yeah, so as you can see here, these are those 5 antecedents which Ashwini was talking about based on Zykowski's model. So as you can see, the Cronbach alpha values more or less are falling beyond or above 0.75. So we can say fairly that the reliability test was considered to be quite good, and the respondents were able to fairly understand the questions and respond quite well. Next, Ashwini. Yes, so this was the demographic profile of respondents. Now, I'll not go into each one of them, but as you can see, these are the basic 8 features which we have considered for demographic analysis. So age, gender, education, occupation, income, family size, family type, and marital status. And you can see that all of them are purely a mix of different heterogeneous respondents that we have chosen across, so as to get a natural response from the sample size. Next. So the results of our study was that 83% of the respondents were about the age of 40 years. That also puts that into an age group where most of the people have a lot of experience and of deciding and are in a position to decide whether to go for organic products or not. Whereas half of the respondents from this the sample were females. Next slide. Yes. So as you can see here, this was the hypothesis testing which happened. So the first hypothesis was like there was no significant consumer involvement for organic food products in Vadodara, and these are the values that we got. So for the first variable, variable wise for all the variables we
Sir,
have got.
I would like to request you to kindly conclude the topic.
Yes. So these were basically the values that we got from the tests. Next slide. Yeah, so overall consumer involvement observed was fairly moderate. It was not too high, not too low, and the reasons were the reason was that organic food products are quite a recent concept. It is still in the stage of diffusing. It's still a very sort of a nascent market in India today. A lot of awareness is still required, right? And you can see, the second hypothesis was lack of correlation between antecedents of involvement of OFP in Vadodara. So again, you can see these values. Most of the results that we got were found to be highly significant. Next. So through appropriate study and relationship between antecedents and involvement, we have been able to sort of establish a correlation between all these the variables. And there has been a high correlation found between effective link and search and information processing. So the correlation coefficient has gone quite high. This was the model for our regression analysis that has happened. So as you can see, the R and the R square values, which were found to be quite significant values. Next slide. Ashwini, hello.
Yes, sir. Next.
Yeah. Yes. So you can see here again, this is table 5 regression analysis for antecedents. Again, these are also showing you the standard coefficient and the unstandard coefficient values of the regression analysis. Next.
So I'll take over from here.
Yes. From here you can take over. So Ashwini, please continue. Yeah.
Yes. So this is the equation that we obtained, and we can say that consumer involvement is affected by all the 5 antecedents of involvement. And to conclude, I would say that purchase purpose had the maximum impact, social relevance had the minimum impact, and the model was found reliable on the basis of R square. And this is the last hypothesis where we can see that there is a highly positive correlation between consumer involvement and purchasing intention. So this was obtained through a paired sample t-test, and we found that the overall purchasing intention was also positive. So the implication suggests that social interaction had the lowest mean and people prefer to talk less in the social circles, and the highest value is obtained by purchase purpose.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Your time is over now. Okay, so the next title of the presentation is Consumer Behavior Status During COVID-19 on Product Planning and Product Life Cycle by Dr. Ashish Sharma. I would like to request Dr. Ashish Sharma to kindly present your paper.
Meanwhile, please permit me to make an announcement that, dear participants, you all know that such programs have a limitation of time, and if we will extend even by 2 minutes, it will be impacting someone else's time. So I request you to respect the time frame allocated and to please present within that time frame itself. So what is expected, that come to your objective, research methodology part, analysis, and then straight away to the conclusion, instead of elaborating the research methodology and rest of the things. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
This paper, I have tried to find out whether some relationship exists during the different stages of product life cycle and the consumer behavior variables.
Ashish sir, I would
yeah.
request you to put your mobile on presentation mode. Actually, your slides are not that properly visible. Just tap on the screen.
Okay. Is it okay now?
No, just tap on the screen. You would find the presentation mode over there. So you can just click on that.
Where is that? No idea much about it.
Okay, no issues. You can share, you can present this way also.
We should have conducted one pre-conference workshop on how to make presentation via mobile.
So next time we would do that. If this condition continues, we'll definitely have.
This is again an implication of digitization only.
Yes.
So all behaviors are getting conditioned, have to get conditioned this way or that way.
I am digitally very low aware, sorry to say. Yeah. Now, with that part of my work, I have used some keywords: product planning, product life cycle, attitude, and some of the very known authors to which I referred as per your format. That was Levitt 1965, Lemkin 1989. The striking experience was that prior to my work, the relationship aspect of PLC different stages and consumer behavior, there was no explicit and implicit studies have been done. And variables which I have tried to collect is mentioned over here is consumer intention, product life cycle, consumer purchase, and product perception, personality, perception, and attitude. These are the particular variables which represents the consumer behavior. When I come to my research gap, I find that there was no explicit or implicit relationship have been studied prior to my study between consumer behavior and PLC stages. There was a lot of literature on PLC aspects, but that was on the engineering aspect, not on management or marketing aspects. I have tried to establish the hypothesis and objectives in relationship between these variables and which were on the behavioral side as well as on the different aspects of PLC, and which I have tried to proven in my coming methodology. Why I have not taken, because the time mention was there, so I was not able to cover up the whole issue in that full in this presentation. That's why I have taken only the extract of that. In my detailed research methodology, I have gone for opting of the factor analysis, confirmatory factor analysis, and as well as structural equational modeling, and as well as I have mentioned these research objectives and hypotheses. And my sample size was with 320 males and 170 females. They all were from college students, and we have designed the questionnaires and informal talks and some kind of focus group discussions also. With the mix of blend of these methods, I have completed my questionnaire, and in that way I was being able to make some analytical situation before you. Consumer intention has an indicator variable, and there was some relationships which I was able to prove. Some of them were significant, some of them were not significant, and that was just a stage doing a further analysis for the structural equational modeling. Then these models needs to be refocused. This is what I can really say. The model try to explain the interrelationship between the variables which were there on the independent and dependent side, but there was a mixed conclusion because some of them proved as particularly significant, some of them have not make any kind of relationship. So my conclusion is that there needs to be more inclination required for these studies, but at least I can say that I have tried to experience the relationships of PLC stages versus the consumer behavioral aspects. So I think this can be a one issue. On the basis of this, the marketing strategists can do more work and research for designing their strategies after COVID gets over, because in that way it will give them some basis to know about the behavioral aspects on post-COVID situation. That was only the brief of my work. I hope I am maintaining the time limit and I am disciplined into given time to me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. The next title of the paper is Customer Satisfaction with Telephone-Based Self-Service Technology, Investigating Role of Gender of the Voice Assistant by Dr. Komal Nagar. I would like to request the presenter to kindly come forward for the presentation. Komal ma'am, are you there? Are you there in the meeting, ma'am? In case you are there, please raise your hand, ma'am.
We can go for the next presenter.
Okay. Yes, sir. So the next title of the paper is Content Marketing and its Impact on Brand Response by Sanjay Sahai, sir, and Dr. Amit Kumar Pandey. I would like to request the presenter to kindly come forward for the presentation.
You are visible at two places, Ankesha.
Sir, somebody is actually sharing the screen, I guess. They are sharing their own screen. Okay.
Ashish, sir, I would request you to stop screen sharing, please.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
It's
Sorry,
okay.
sorry.
It's okay, sir. I think Amit, sir, is also not there. Can you call the next name, ma'am, please?
Yes, ma'am. The next title is Digital Marketing, a third eye to marketing in India by Ms. Aarti Verma and Mr. Navjot Singh. I would like to request the presenter to kindly raise your hand and come forward for the presentation. Aarti ma'am? Mr. Navjot Singh, sir, are you there? Then next title of the paper is Criteria Selection for Direct Marketing Using AHP in Fire and Safety Equipment Market in India by Mr. Ankur Saini and Ms. Anupama Rajesh. I would like to request the presenter to kindly come forward for the presentation. Ankur sir?
Ankesha, in online environment, nobody is going to come forward. They are only going to come online. So again, a minor change in the demeanor. Okay.
Hello.
Ankur sir?
Hello.
Ankur is there. It seems Ankur is there.
Yes, sir. Sir, please switch on your video and please share your screen, sir.
Ma'am, is it visible?
Yes, sir. Please.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Ankur and I belong to industry from fire and safety equipment market in India. So I'm a research scholar from MIT University. So my paper is totally based on direct marketing. So if we talk about the marketing, so the market itself has the dynamic, active, and the continuous nature of the market for the product or any services. It always requires that the provider of the service or the product, that can be an individual, a firm, or an organization, is to innovate and develop new skills and abilities to gain monetary benefits by selling the product or services to the customer. So when it comes to the marketing capabilities, so it is, you can say, simply defined it as complex bundles of skills and accumulated knowledge, which can be exercised through organizational processes that enable firms to coordinate activities and make use of their assets properly. So when it comes to marketing capabilities, ever since these has been identified, they are part of primary ways through which an organization achieve a competitive advantage, which can later be the factor which can make them stand out amongst the other with the proper competitive advantage and with the proper use and efficient use of marketing capabilities. And also this can lead to the superior performance, which is possible if we follow the completely, we go through the marketing capabilities and make better use of it. So the keywords are direct marketing, AHPX, analytical hierarchy processes, which have been used as a methodology, marketing criteria, marketing model, fire and safety equipment market in India. So about fire safety and security market in India. So I'll just wrap it over in a one paragraph that over the last span of 10 years or a decade, India has seen an increase in general awareness about the fire safety and security market, with a rapid increase in infrastructure, facilities, and continuous growth in IT sector and retail markets. They have also contributed and played a major role in the growth of fire safety sector in India. And it is also expected that the trend will continue for the coming years. However, there's some lack of awareness and due to stringent and regulation regarding the fire safety, which are different and varies from states to states in India. It has been observed that the potential of the fire and safety equipment market in its major parts in India is still largely untapped. And in the coming times, it is also expected that the Fire Safety Act for each state, which is still not has come into existence, is yet to come into effect, because of which monitoring is still not stringent and rigorous on the ground level in India. So, and on the right side, I have mentioned few of the major players in our fire industry according to the Indian marketing. So the market overview, you can see that you can see in 2016 we have the market has done, the total market size has gone from $418.7 million to 507.7. Then in 2019 it was $617.3 million. So this is a trend which keeps on increasing year by year, and it is expected to grow in 2020 as well. But the major obstruction which comes here for the direct market here is that direct marketing needs a systematic and a criteria-based approach, which provide a sense of following the model. Similar, you can say it's a similar to step-by-step process to ease their way by carrying out the direct marketing activities in such an efficient manner. And ma'am, there's one more aspect from this industry, that as the digitization is improving day by day, the marketing campaign is running day by day. Fire industry is you all will be in you all will be shocked to hear that in this fire industry, the marketing campaign is not being introduced. Or I can just count it on a year-wise note. So in 2013, Ceasefire is one of the major company. Ceasefire in 2013, they have put on a YouTube video for 3 minutes and 30 seconds just to introduce a fire extinguisher in 2013. Then again in 2015, there was another introductory video of 59 seconds on YouTube. Then again in 2016, just single one. And in 2018, there was a documentary video of 53 seconds on YouTube again. But the next thing is in 2019, Samsung created a awareness by creating a pic, creating a pic of flower pot using a fire extinguisher as a flower pot. And
Mr. Ankur, can you concentrate on your research methodology and outcomes?
Okay, sir. So the objective of my study is to identify and select those criteria using the AHP. The proposed model is expected to provide maximum benefits for enhancing the output and work efficiency of direct marketeers. So the research gap, which is filled by my study, is that I've successfully identified and defined the specific model or a set of
criteria. Sir, I would like to request you to kindly conclude the topic.
Definitely, ma'am. So the variables of the studies are market segmentation, customer profiling, the offer, data collection, communication element, recency, frequency monitoring, selection of targeted customers, competitive edge. And my research is I have collected my data through conducting 25 in-depth interviews of 25 high-level professionals expertise in marketing and sales in the same market. And I've conducted an in-depth interview along with the survey forms, and I have to use the methodology AHP for analysis. This is the, you can say, overview of the data I've collected from the industries and the hierarchy of respondents. So the result, which clearly shows that out of the 10 criteria which has been identified, I've selected only 7 out of, according to their calculated weights. And with the help of AHP, it gives me a validation that the consistency ratio of my matrix was 0.07, which is acceptable. If it goes beyond 0.10, then it is not reasonable accepted. So my research is accepted, my data is validated, and these are the 7 parameters or criteria which has been selected in my studies. So as per the discussion, so at present there are no business tools available in the market based on this specific area. So the identified criteria can be laid out or can be used as a blueprint to highlight the area and develop a systematic model for a business intelligence tool. And the only limitation of my study is that it focuses only on the criteria. So there are many methods to collect or to use the criteria. So every method which will have a different impact on my model. So that was my model, and my conclusion that my purpose and my aim was to identify and define the criteria, which I've successfully done it. And in my findings, the top 4 criteria totally account for 65.94% of successful marketing campaigns. And so this was my research.
Thank you, sir. Okay, before moving further, this is my humble request to all the presenters that kindly keep your videos on while sharing the screen. Okay, so next title of the paper is Gen Z, a challenge for marketers by Dr. Sandeep Benot. I would like to request the presenter to kindly come up on the stage for the presentation.
The stage is already set. Okay, please, Professor Sandeep Benot.
Yes, yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to all the respected dignitaries. So I hope everyone is able to see my screen here.
Yeah, now we are able to see your screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. So, respected ma'am and respected sir, the topic of my presentation is Generation Z, a challenge for marketers. So here, going by initially, I just mentioned about what are the keywords that I've used here. That is Generation Z, social media, marketers, social media marketing, and consumer behavior. Okay. Now, talking about what is Generation Z. Now, there have been various definitions given about this generation. Mainly, these are the people who have been born, say, after 1995, between 1995 and 2010. And but there has been differing timelines given by various researchers. Some have said it's between 1992 and 2008. Some have said 96 to 2010. But in most of the studies, they have taken it starting from, say, around 1995 up to 2010. Okay, so these are the most digital savvy generation. They were born when all the present devices like the internet, mobiles, and laptops were already existing, and so they are very digital, and so understanding their behavior was an important consideration here. Okay, now. Okay, so and if you talk about the number of people in this population, in India, it has reached around 472 million by last year, and by this year, it's around close to 500 million. So it's around more than 34% of the total population. So it's a very sizable chunk of the total population. So the variables which I have taken were definition of Generation Z, marketing to Generation Z, and their consumption pattern as studied by various researchers. So the research gap identified by my study was that there were a number of studies done on Generation Z in many other countries, but comparatively lesser studies were done in the Indian context. And so this study will help us to understand the characteristics of Gen Z and how companies can use their marketing strategies for this generation. So basically to understand the Generation Z characteristics and how they are using social media. Sorry. So the hypothesis which I had taken was that there is a significant difference in the amount of time spent with respect to demographic variables. Also with respect to what influences them to buy a product, and what social media apps they use, what kind of content they like to view, and the type of brands they want to buy, and preference for the medium. So these are different hypotheses. Going by the nature of the study, it's a descriptive research to understand the characteristics. So the sample design was, the target segment was basically respondents in the age of between 10 and 23 years of age. So they were students from secondary school, junior college, degree, and postgraduate college. And this sample size was around 332, taken from Mumbai and Navi Mumbai. So a structured questionnaire was used to collect this data. And for analysis, the techniques which were used were mainly the independent samples t-test, ANOVA, and the chi-square test. So the main results were that women tend to spend more time on social media compared to men. And the social media influencers are one of the main influence which help people to go for these devices. And the degree college people are more influenced by social media influencers as compared to postgraduate students. Instagram has been used more by females, while YouTube has been used more by males. Again, the difference was with respect to degree and postgraduate also, where WhatsApp is used more by postgraduate people, and for degree students, it was mostly Instagram. Female students preferred entertaining and informative content, while male students preferred knowledge, like other content. Videos was more preferred by female students, whereas webinars and podcasts were used more by males. Then both of them preferred good quality products, and also which are popular among peers. Also, they were which were eco-friendly. And the percentage of female shoppers preferring online in this study was comparatively lesser, but it has been increasing as compared to the male buyers. And also, the female students prefer to buy apparel online as compared to the males who prefer to buy electronic goods. And degree college students prefer to buy books, etc., whereas postgraduate students prefer to buy electronic goods and apparel. So the implication was that the companies should use the right social media channels. They should create relevant content, which should be engaging and appealing to the people, should develop a brand personality. That means the companies should identify the brands which will identify with the users, be more innovative, and follow the upcoming trends. So the conclusions was that marketers need to use different strategies for these different segments of Generation Z. And these are the generations which are going to be the most influential target segment for marketers in the years to come. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, sir. The next title of the
Thanks,
paper
ma'am.
is Attitude, Dimensions and Shopping Mall Purchasing by Mr. Raju Bhai Manandhar. I would like to request the presenter to kindly come forward for the presentation. Sir, sir, please unmute yourself. Switch on your video.
But it is not functioning, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Now you're audible and we can see you as well.
Good morning, everyone. Respected chairperson of this conference, respected panelists of this conference, respected professor, and respected participants. I'm very pleased to be here to present my paper, Attitude, Dimension, and Shopping Mall Purchasing Behavior. I'm Raju Bhai Manandhar, PhD Scholar, Faculty of Management, Tribhuvan University, Kathmandu, Nepal. The attitude has been one of the main concepts used to explain individual differences. It is used in widely and involved to understand and predict the changes of customer. Attitude helps to define how consumers see toward the product, brand, how consumer behave, how consumer responds toward the object, especially brand and product. The shopping mall concept is being popular in providing a variety of product under one roof. That is why most of the consumer from the Kathmandu, Delhi feel easier to purchase goods and service, whatever they need to uh, fulfill their desire under one roof. The present trend of the shopping mall has been gradually shifted from grocery store to shopping mall, and the present trend of the shopping mall has been changing in Kathmandu Valley because of the different facilities and the different dimension of attitude. The objective of my study is to examine the association of attitude dimension on shopping mall purchasing and another is to assess the impact of advertising on shopping mall purchasing. This is the conceptual framework. Here, shopping mall purchasing is the dependent variable and cognition, affection, and behavioral are independent variable. Advertising is moderating variable. This is my research hypothesis. H1, there is association between cognition and shopping mall purchasing. S2, there is association between affection and shopping mall purchasing. S3, there is association between behavioral and shopping mall purchasing. S4, there is an impact to advertising on shopping mall purchasing. This is my research methodology. Descriptive and analytic is my research design. Primary data is the main source to analyze and interpretation. Survey questionnaire is the tools to collect the required data, and my population is consumer from the Kathmandu Valley. And sample size is 250. Convenience sampling technique under non-random sampling is applied to select the respondent, and descriptive and inferential statistic tools, especially regression, is applied to analyze the collected data. This is my result from the regression analysis. F value is 38 point something, P value is 0.00, and cognition has 0.00, affection has 0.003, and behavioral health has the value of 0.014, and advertising has 0.240. These are my major findings. The study found that cognition has negatively association on shopping mall purchasing. The study found that the affection component has highly positive association with shopping mall purchasing. The study also found that behavioral has positive association on shopping mall purchasing. Advertising has no significant impact on the shopping mall purchase behavior. The most of the consumer prefer city center out of the shopping mall in the Kathmandu Valley. This is my result and discussion. Actually, there is conducted the research on the overall attitude on shopping mall purchase behavior, but I don't found the examine of the cognition, affection, and behavioral on shopping mall purchase behavior. And now this study found that advertising does not have significant impact in shopping mall purchase behavior. It was not aligned with the earlier study by Young 2002, and Brewer and Greer conclude that the effect of advertising and purchase behavior depicted positive association. And conclusion: shopping mall attract the urban consumer, but not to rural consumer in purchasing behavior due to the lack of knowledge that they usually think that there is expensive. The consumer like to go to shopping mall to have full of fun and entertainment with different facilities. The shopping mall are in the growing phase, and the customer are being familiar with the needs of shopping mall to the extension of the shopping pattern in shopping mall. Advertising does not affect the shopping mall purchase behavior. City center is the most popular shopping mall in Kathmandu Valley. Thank you very much. It's
Thank you so much, sir. The next title of the paper is Taking Social Media Marketing to Rural Entrepreneurs, a case study of silk weavers of Salkuchi, Assam by Mrs. Sangeeta Sharma. I would like to request the presenter to kindly come forward for the presentation. Sangeeta ma'am?
Yes, I am there. Can you hear me? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
She's not audible.
Is my presentation visible?
Ma'am, your voice is not clear.
Sangeeta ma'am, I request you to be a bit louder so that we can hear you properly.
Please keep your mic close to your mouth as much as possible. Are we audible to you, Sangeeta ma'am?
Hello.
Yeah. Now your voice is more audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sangeeta ma'am, if you can hear us, please raise your hand if you can.
Even how will it matter? Even she raises her hand. And
Exactly, sir. That's true. So, should we call the next participant? She can rejoin again and if it is possible, we'll give her the chance again.
yeah, she can collect the data till then. More data.
Can you hear?
Sangeeta ma'am, you can remove your headphones once, and again you can connect it so that your voice becomes audible.
So let's call another participant. I am removing right now, stopping screen sharing of Sangeeta ma'am.
Okay, sir.
And another participant we can call.
Okay, okay, sir.
Yes, sir. The next title of the paper is Impact of COVID-19 Pandemic Lockdown on the Consumer Panic Buying, empirical study by Mr. Satnam Omeja, Dr. Sharda. Hello? Am I audible?
You are audible to us. Let's listen from the participant. Dr. Satnam, are we audible to you?
Yes, sir. Very good afternoon to all of you, respected panel members, Professor Yogesh Upadhyay and other faculties. I'm Dr. Satnam.
Ma'am, a small request.
Yeah, yes, sir.
There is a lot of text on your PPTs.
Yeah.
So it is simply giving up us goosebumps.
Okay.
So be only just read one line each on slide and come to your research methodology and conclusion.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Otherwise, we will be having a lot of nightmares today.
No problem, sir. Okay, sir. With your permission, I would like to start my presentation. The title of the paper is Impact of COVID-19 Pandemic Lockdown on the Consumer Panic Buying as Empirical Study. You know that during the COVID-19 there are so many problems as a customer we were facing, and the one term in marketing normally emerges, that is impulsive buying or a panic buying. And because of COVID-19, people have started purchasing in a bulk. Maybe they don't have a need, they don't have a requirement of purchasing of that particular product. So we have chosen this particular topic on the basis of that, which particular mental status they were going, and on what the circumstances they started purchasing in different kinds of FMCG products. So the introduction is about COVID-19, that you already heard about that and you are very well known about this. So this pandemic has affected almost even all over the world, and around that we have seen lots of customer has started purchasing in bulk. So we have taken an introduction on that. Shadhanam, kindly change the slide, please.
Yes.
Okay, so consumer panic buying is a kind of behavior in which people behave like impulsive, and they go whether from the online mode or a offline mode. They see the options, and with the help of that options, may without any requirement identification of their own requirement, they purchase in a bulk. They store the products in a bulk. So that particular behavior says that the panic situation of buying, and under the COVID-19, people behave like that and they started purchasing this. So in this situation, panic buying may also result into the crowd of supermarket or grocery shops, and they feel also that that people are purchasing in bulks, and they feel that they are not able to serve the product on a right manner in front of customer. So that may they feel that there are some mismatch with the customer satisfaction and the seller expectations. Ma'am, please change the slide. So we have taken some review of literature on the basis of different studies of buying behavior and panic buying behavior. We have prepared a self-made questionnaire, and in which that you could see that compulsive buying behavior is described as a sorry is as a uncontrollable and repetitive buying that becomes a primary response to negative and unconcerned feeling, that is described by in 1992 also the authors, and 2008 also by different authors in their studies. So we have taken some input from that particular paper. Customer panic buying has serious harmful personal, social and financial consequences for an individual. So like different types of studies we have taken from till 90s to 2017 18, and different with the help of different literature or review, we have concluded that there are so many items included in this particular study in which that particular item explain the panic situation, the panic psychology of mental status of particular customer. So these are the study. Panic or compulsive buying is understood or a unrequired, needless, excessive, and uncontrollable shopping. And this scenario is facilitated because of the introduction of shopping mall in emerging economies. That means the researchers have identified that during the even in the not in pandemic any kind of circumstances, people do behave like that in the any kind of emergency or something new kind of services emerge in the market. So that time when shopping mall emerged in the Indian market, they were also behaving like that. So with the help of these different studies, we have designed our objective of our research. The objective was to find the impact of COVID-19 pandemic lockdown on consumer panic buying. And ma'am, kindly change the slide. Yes, and the RM part was the present paper was on attempt on measure the factor affecting the panic buying behavior due to COVID-19. The nature of research work is descriptive in the nature. The sample was non-probability convenience in sampling was used for the study, and the size was 322 customers who were decision maker to purchasing necessities for their family members. Ma'am, kindly change the, yes. Tool for data collection. The primary data for the research was collected with the help of 30 items we have selected from the different reviews with self-structured questionnaire taken from different reviews of past study of panic buying and journals. Respondent degree of satisfaction was recorded on 5-point Likert scale, where 5 represented strongly agreement and then 1 represent strongly disagreement. And the tool for data analysis, we have used the software that is RStudio and MS Excel, and regression analysis we have applied on that. For the further discussion, I would like to invite Professor Haryani. Ma'am, over to you.
Ma'am, I would like to request you to kindly conclude the topic.
Yeah, just a minute. Ma'am is going to conclude only.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Shada ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. It was not unmuting. That's why. We come to the results and discussion. Initially, we resulted into 6 imperative factors, which were brand consciousness, restricted buying, apprehensive behavior, safety buying, available services, and digital transaction. All these factors accounted for 61% of total variance, and the Bartlett's test of sphericity was 0.00, and KMO test resulted in 0.757. So these were the good measures where we can propose the regression equations. The factors were good enough. So after that, we applied the regression on all those factors, and we developed the following hypotheses. 6 hypotheses were taken care, and these are all alternative hypotheses. Brand consciousness has significant positive impact on consumer panic buying and restricted buying, apprehensive behavior, and these were tested on our software. Before conducting regression analysis, some assumptions of regression analysis are to be sorted out. So first was linearity assumption. So here we have taken a plot between residuals and fitted plot. Here we can see that there is no...
Ma'am, we assume that you have taken care of all assumptions.
Yes.
Now, can you please come to your outcome?
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Okay. So these are the assumptions done. All the assumptions, after validating all the assumptions, we have came to the following conclusion, where 3 factors were accepted which affected the panic buying behavior, and these 3 factors were the first one was the restricted buying, because the restricted buying was having the significant impact on panic buying. We can say that when there is some restriction in buying, the things are not available, and the shops were open for a very short time, so that was creating a positive impact on panic buying of the consumer. So our study also supported this, and that hypothesis was accepted. The second factor which was accepted was apprehensive behavior. The apprehensive behavior was also impacting on the panic buying behavior. And the third which impacted was available services. That has the negative...
Thank you so much, ma'am. Your time is over.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. The next title of the paper is Taking Social Media Marketing to Rural Entrepreneurs, a case study of silk weavers of Salkuchi, Assam, by Mrs. Sangeeta Sharma. Sangeeta ma'am, are you there? Sangeeta ma'am?
She is there. We need to unmute her. I have unmuted Sangeeta ma'am. You can start.
Sangeeta ma'am, you can start your presentation now.
Your voice is not audible. You have to bring speaker close to your mouth.
Sangeeta ma'am, please bring your mouthpiece to near to your mouth because we are not able to hear you. No, Sangeeta ma'am, we are not able to hear you. You're not audible to us. I would request you to please unjoin the meeting and join again so that if there is any technical issue that is arising at your place, that can be resolved. Ma'am, ma'am, you're not audible. Ma'am, you're not audible. We'll be calling the next participant by then, right?
Then
The next title of the paper is A Study on Consumer Buying Pattern on Retail Stores, a literature review by Ms. Sheetal Bansare and Dr. Jayashree Vispute. I would like to request the presenter to come forward for the presentation.
Yes, yes.
Good afternoon, everybody. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible. You're
Okay,
audible.
thank you. Yeah, good afternoon, everybody, the panelists and the participants. I'm Ms. Sheetal presenting the paper and co-author is Dr. Jayashree Vispute, ma'am. The keywords of my paper are consumer behavior, buying pattern, marketing channels, online shopping, and goods stores. The literature review lies on the 20 papers which I studied from the two sectors, specifically sports and electronics. The study has been carried out to understand the consumer's perceptions. The papers were selected from various continents of like UK, US, Virginia, Italy, India were the preferable, and the papers were studied across with the years of 1999 to 2016. The prominent papers which I studied were the papers who talked about the trust of the buyers through the website specifically. Why the websites? Because the retail stores are easily available. People go there and gain the trust. The shopper gives them the offer as per the customer's visits or the buyers buying the products. But when the website comes in, the trust plays an important role over there because we can sell the product, but the trust can be generated by the services provided. The paper talks about that. The second paper talks about the understanding of customers' requirement about the product specifications. Extremely sorry. The second paper talks about the customer's requirement about the product specification, providing products as per their requirement, because here the buying decisions used to change on the preference of the brand specifically, and these are the products in the electronic goods, home appliances, and the companies, even the consumers used to buy the products, but they used to discuss about the products with their family members, or they used to look into the websites of those companies and then buy the products. The third author describes about the studies of serious services and the quality, ease of use of websites, design and the graphics, because when these customers who used to go to the website and buy the product, the design and the service quality, that means the review given by the older customers who have already utilized the products were really reliable, and the commitments and the security played an important role over here. The next paper talks about consumers buy, how they buy, why they buy, and when and where they buy. The most important part was here is consume the product, they buy the product, but when they buy the product, after that, when the disposable time comes in, many of the customers or the consumers who were using the product were preferred. The first one was the resale, or they preferred the second one was the exchange of it, and the last one was the least preferable, was throwing them into the dustbins. And this last paper, the fifth paper, talks about the review effects, because the review of these customers who bought the product played a very important role in decision involvement. And then based on these decisions, either if the impact was positive, they found out that decision was quicker and the fastest and the easiest. Even the price factor was not much important for them. So these was the finding out of it. The next paper talked about the independent variables of sales promotions, such as price and pack. Here this is reference to the camera specifically. Why? Because here the combination of the offering of premium combine, and the most important part, paid with the rebate out of it, how beneficial they would be after buying the product. Then the next paper talks about the guerrilla marketing, wherein in guerrilla marketing, the preferable or the customers who were more convinced here were the eye-catching advertisements and the memorable activities or the reviews they could receive from the older customers. And based on that, these factors played an important role in the decisions of the customers. The next slide talks about the electronic product, television specifically, and that to the Samsung brand was the highest preferable brand in this product. And the family and the friends, the retail outlet, the store of this Samsung was highly visited in spite of the websites, but they found out that the friends and the family members were the influencing part of it. And next it talks about the distinctive role of players and the buyers is more important. And last it talks about in the electronic media, three specifically were understood were the convenience shopping goods and the specialty goods. The next paper is of sports industries, wherein here, now these papers, if you see over here, you can see that the gender's bias is under, socio demographic is understood. Each paper describes that they how college going, preferably college going, are buying these products. In spite of going to the stores, these college going prefer go to the Amazon, manufacturing online, Nike, or and websites where they can easily buy the products. And the next slide talks about the different here the more important was given to this consumer satisfaction, increase in the number of participants were general public. Why? Because now the sports products which were available, which were utilized by the sports person, but the here in this paper, Mr. Chu have found out that the local people, the people who are not
I would like to
athletic,
request you to kindly conclude the topic.
yeah, the gap I could find out over here was the convenience goods and shopping goods were majorly studied. Very few studies were on specialty, and especially Indian studies. Faced motive customers shop online. Important understands of role referrals were given, and information search and evaluation alternatives of online buying was specialty goods are indeed very different, and additional research is more needed. And understand the impact of word of mouth. Word of mouth played a very important role over here. The objective of the study was to understand the specialty products, how in sports and electronic are buying pattern is getting affected, and perception matched in the availability of the products of online and physical stores. And here the in this perception, it was found that the physical stores who provide the products, and at the same time they provide the products through their website on online selling like Amazon, or if it matched, the sale was booming up. Here the research I have methodology I've used is the various papers, and in which I focused on specialty goods and the sports of electronics. And the study of the result my talks about is store location is very important, and six key store dimensions were highlighted: atmosphere, appeal, included appeals, promotions, brand availability. Gender played a very important role. Male were very much influenced by the information provided compared to the females. Here in my study, the papers I studied, the female were who would prefer to go physically and look into the products and then buy the products. And implication study shows that the designed research model, consumer behavior buying electronic goods, and CPV model was implemented. And the last is the inclination towards specialty retailers consume customized products, but not sparing much time on the shopping. That means they were preferable. The products are needed, easily available, and I can go and have an easy access to buy those products. Increasing day by day, creating new business way out for retailers, and helping the researcher to understand the consumer buying behavior pattern in their psychology. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. The next title of the paper is A Study on Consumer Perception Towards Online Shopping and Its Impact, with special reference to Gwalior City by Neha Yadav. I would like to request the presenter to come forward for the presentation.
Ma'am, screen is visible now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Please switch on your video as well.
Okay, ma'am, sure. Thank you, Ms. Anshika, ma'am. Good afternoon to one and all present on board. I'm Neha Yadav, and my topic for presentation is a study on consumer perception towards online shopping and its impact, with a special reference to Gwalior City. The keywords in this study are possibilities of using internet in India, changes in online trends, use of online shopping effect in Gwalior City. The variables of this study are consumer perception, online shopping, income of respondents, and Gwalior City. The introduction in this slide that this paper tried to find out the factors that Indian consumers take into account while shopping online so that e-marketers know which factors can influence the behavior and they can develop their marketing strategy to convert potential consumers into online consumers. The recent trends of internet users and e-business in India is showing in this graph. This slide talks about the advantages and disadvantages of online shopping like fraud and security, shipping rates, waiting, refund and return disputes. The hypothesis and objectives of the study are products buy by consumers are independent on their income in online shopping, and products buy by consumer are dependent on their income in online shopping. The objectives are to analyze the factors, motivate consumer perception towards online shopping in India, to study possibility for increase of online shopping in India, to study present status of online shopping, and also to study the factor those affects consumer perception towards online shopping in India. The research gap fulfilled by the study is that due to time constraint, the sample size which is used in this study is only 100. This study was restricted to Gwalior City only. The time limit for the research was small to collect information for an in-depth study, and the result of the study depends on the respondent's response. In research methodology, sample design, the size selected for this study was 100. Samples for every population were being selected as per their convenient sampling methodology. Tools for data collection, a well-structured questionnaire was prepared to gather personal views and to research the sensible facts. Percentage and chi-square technique has been used for data analysis. The results of this study and discussion, the internet uses by respondents, this results shows that 77% having internet connections and using internet on regular basis, and only 23% of saying that they are not using internet on regular basis. The opinion of respondents about types of shopping regularly, what type of methods they are using and for shopping regularly. 74% of them are saying that they prefer online method, and 26% of them are saying they are preferring regular or manual method for shopping. The majority of opinion of respondents' status about online shopping, that 68% of respondents are using online method of shopping and they continued it, whereas 20% of respondents using only shopping method earlier and they discontinued it. Only 12% of respondents have not yet used online shopping. This table or this slide talks about that overall satisfaction towards online shopping. 80% of respondents are overall satisfied with their online shopping, whereas only 40% of respondents shown dissatisfaction and 6% are of opinion that they can't say. The implication and significance of the results. The usage of online shopping by consumers is increased, which had led to a decrease in manual shopping. Also, the majority of consumers shown eagerness to shop online. Due to revolution in telecommunication sectors, the number of internet users increased and occupation is not playing any role in the product choice. The customers also want to see the products in personal before buy. Customers are having fear of receiving wrong or bad product and could not return it on. Occupation of respondent is independent of purchase habit. Majority of customers have used online shopping and shown willingness to continue, but very few of them have done online shopping earlier and not showing willingness to continue it. After this study, some suggestions are drawn out. After this research, it is observed that major hurdle behind development of online shopping is of customer awareness. They are not much aware of online shopping. So the majority of customers are not aware about various pre and post services run by this online shopping companies. Most of the customers want to see the product before purchase to make sure that same product arrived as per order. In electronic appliances, after sales services is very important aspect. So companies should inform customers regarding how to install and use the product or send company representative for installation after the delivery. To conclude it, due to revolution in telecommunication sector, number of users of internet are increased in India in recent time and customers are using internet for online shopping. But still for regular purchase, most of customers' first choice is manual shopping. So to increase number of customers for online shopping, there is need of extensive publicity and promotion by online shopping companies to attract all class of customers. They must have offered detailed product information, easy mode of payment, facility of comparison of price, and hassle-free shopping experience so that the companies can convert their target markets to online customers or consumers. Most of the customers are of opinion that shipping charges charged by company are very high. So it is suggested that to companies to either reduce shipping charges or delivery of products should be given freely. Company may use it as one of the promotional activity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Neha ma'am. The next title of the paper is Challenges in Digitalization of Marketing Efforts in Current Indian Conditions by Dr. Suresh Abhyankar. I would like to request the presenter to kindly come forward for the presentation. Sir, if you are there, please raise your hand. Dr. Suresh Abhyankar, sir.
Okay. I'm audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me share my presentation.
Yes, sir.
Is it visible?
No, sir.
No, sir. Screen is not visible.
Not visible.
You haven't started sharing, sir. There's no sharing from your side.
Yeah, I have already shared the computer.
So you have to click on the screen share option that is there at the bottom of the. Sir, actually, there's no sharing from your side. We cannot see anything to be shared from your side.
No, it is. I've shared it, but I don't know why it is not getting shared. It is not getting shared.
Okay, what you can do by the time is you can send the PPT to me. I'll share. Okay, it has started. Sir, it has started. You can start your presentation.
Okay. We have already talked about the title. Let me get into directly into the presentation. The keywords are digital marketing, challenges, connectivity, payment gateways, logistics, buyer-vendor relationship, and credit facility. I looked into various literature, but none of the literature talks in terms of the challenges faced by the marketeers. The gap was basically that there is no research on this particular topic. The objectives are: can digital marketing reach all the customers? Can digital marketing be directed to specific customers? Can we forecast sales growth on the basis of digital marketing? Can digital marketing be used for all the types of products? What challenges will be encountered by in doing digital market different product types? Now, the nature of the study is qualitative exploratory research. There is no actual sample or kind of thing. We have gone through the experience of the persons. I am a consultant and I keep talking to various marketing people and keep training them. So I get to know them and their problems, and we are looking into solving these problems. Tools, secondary data published into various kind of things, and there is no analysis because there is no collection of proper data. Now the findings straight away will go into is 50% of the world population is using internet. India with 391.4 million internet users is second only to China. Only 20 to 25% net users are doing online shopping. Most of the customers using online shopping in India are based in metro cities and tier 1 cities. Most of the online shopping is done through platforms like Alibaba. COVID-19 helped the grow on online shopping for household goods, fashion garments, and cosmetics. Young people and college students use online shopping mostly for ordering food and accessories. Now, challenges for the customers: supply chain logistics. You cannot, in most of the places, you cannot be sure when the product will be delivered to you. Only in metro cities it is confirmed, and tier 1 to a large extent it is not confirmed. Rural outreach is very, very poor. Payment collection becomes a major problem because major part of the India is not properly digitalized. Non-availability of artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and augmented reality available, so that a choice or choosing the product becomes very difficult. Now, challenges faced by the traders. Traders are mostly in unorganized sector. Supply chain for them is a major problem. Again, payment collection, long credit periods, and high deposits demanded by the platforms. The platforms are asking for 30 to 50% deposits of their sales, and then the credit period is up to 60 days. So they get payment after, though the platforms are taking money in advance most of the times, but the payment given to the trader is very, very long time. High commissions demanded by the platforms, 30 to 50% or sometimes more. Forced exchanges of the goods sold, which is a major problem for all the organized, all the traders, because if the platform says that we will exchange the product, what will that trader do? And the platforms are charging you for collection of the goods also. So already you have paid 50% margin, and on the top of it, this exchange will lead to another cost, and who will buy the used products? That is a loss. Challenges by the sales and marketing people. There is no buyer vendor relationship development into this when you are into the B2B sales, and all of you know that in B2B sales, buyer vendor relationship leads to majority of sales and not without it. Correct forecasting of sales that can help production planning is not possible because you cannot predict your sales properly at all. Customers keep trying various alternatives, leading to drop in
Sorry to
loyal
interrupt you,
customers.
sir, in between. Please conclude the topic.
Okay. I'll go to the conclusions. Currently, digital marketing cannot reach all the customers. Digital marketing cannot be directed towards specific customers unless the customer is using internet. Correct forecasting of sales is impossible in digital marketing. Digital marketing cannot be used for all types of products. Marketing of various products through digitalization is challenging. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. The next title of the paper is A Conceptual Framework, Antecedent, Personality Traits, Personal Values, and Reference Groups of Online Trolling Behavior by Dr. Anand Thakur and Ishita Bansal. I would like to request the presenter to kindly come forward for the presentation.
Ankesha, how many presenters are left right now?
Sir, we have 3 more to go.
Okay, fine.
Yes.
So I'll again request all the worthy presenters to keep the timelines, to keep up with the timelines. 5 minutes plus 2 minutes.
Yes, sir.
So please go ahead, Dr. Anand Thakur and Ishita Bansal.
Good afternoon to one and all. All Digitalizations panel members and my fellow participants. I am Ishita Bansal, research scholar, Central University Punjab, Bathinda. I am pursuing research in field of marketing. My co-author and research guide is Dr. Anand Thakur, Dean School of Management, Department of Financial Administration. The title of my paper is A Conceptual Framework on Antecedents, Personality Traits, Personal Values, and Reference Group of Online Trolling Behavior. It is a deceptive, aggressive, disruptive attempt by users of computer-mediated communication exhibiting pseudo-sincere intention with an intent to gain attention, provoke conflicting environment for their own amusement. Trolling has become ultimate 21st century crime. It has emerged as a bane for netizens. The increasing use of this tactic was highlighted in 2016 at US presidential election. Derogatory comments, body shaming, obscenity, profanity, and bullying are to name a few forms of online trolling. It is threat to freedom of expression. People will resist social rhetoric, and it will ultimately result in sidestepping of crucial matters of which needs real concern. So it becomes necessary. To examine online trolling from a broader perspective as everyone and public as every organization and public figure facing some kind of trolling. Now I will explain the objective of our study. The first objective of our study is to gain insight into personality trait of trolls, and the next one is to gain insight about the personal values which motivates them or which leads them to such kind of behavior. The next one is to know what kind of reference group determine their behavior and the agendas of these reference group. Last but not the least, to propose a theoretical framework on trolling behavior, personality traits, personal values, and reference groups. Individual behavior originates from one's personality. Online trolling is not an exception to it. Past studies like Buckles and others in 2014 highlighted the significance of studying dark tattered personality traits to get more insights about trolling behavior. This study attempted to study personality traits with the help of two famous models, The first one is Big Five model, and the other one is MBTI model. Big Five model. Big Five model describe the personality traits or organizes it into five broader categories. That are these are extroversion, agreeableness, neuroticism, openness, and conscientiousness. And MBTI model presents four dichotomous sets, and we have tried to find the troll's preference in these sets, and these sets are extroverted or introverted, sensing or intuitive, thinking and feeling, and judging and perceiving. Next section describe about the relation between personal values and online trolling. Personal values are the critical motivators behind one's actions, and these are also the trolls may also have are guided by some kind of value system. These values are critical to extend the horizon of research in online behavior. This research try to analyze value system of trolls from perspective of two models: the theory of basic human values given by Schwartz and his group, and the other one is Milton Rockwitz value survey. Next section is about reference groups. Every individual try to relate them to some kind of distinguished group, and trolls reference group may be virtual communities that play a dominant role. Instagram followers, Facebook friend, blogging website subscribers, etc. are common form of such communities. Therefore, in social media, a small group of people can easily induce the formation of positive or negative public opinions due to influence, power, solidarity, type, and commonness of experience. We have utilized a literature review of literature for our research methodology. As we are limited in time, I will quickly describe five major studies. The first one is trolling in asynchronous computer mediated communication. This research was undertaken by Hardaker in 2010. The objective behind this study was to give a first order definition of online trolling. Four interrelated dimensions of trolling were identified. These were aggression, deception, and disruption and success. The other study was conducted by Buckles and others in 2013. Behavioral confirmation of everyday sadism. They try to relate dark pride and sadism to online aggressive behavior and the acts of apparent cruelty.
Ma'am, I would like to request you to kindly conclude the topic.
Okay, ma'am, I will. These are the literature review. All different studies were there which related personal values and reference groups and personality traits to aggressive online behavior. But the research gap identified in this study was that that very few studies, or there were very scattered findings which have specifically related it to online trolling behavior. The most important aim of the present study was to provide a comprehensive conceptual framework that may act as guiding mechanism to understand thinking, feeling, and acting component of these social personalities. First structure is describing about personality traits, and we found that trolls were very high at extroversion because they are very sociable. Agreeableness, they were very low at agreeableness because they have a lack of pro-social behaviors. Conscientiousness, because they are very less organized. And neuroticism, because they have high potential of emotional instability. And they were very high at openness because they are very keen for new things, and they are very keen to face new challenges. In personal values, we have identified that self-direction, simulation, hedonism, achievement, and power were positively related as personal value of trolls. And in the reference groups, we have identified that solidarity, type of group, power, and influence are the motivating factors behind which lead them to join such kind of groups. These are the discussions in detail, and uh, uh, to conclude, I will explain the implication of study. Our study will be very helpful for the marketers in customer profiling, and it will be also helpful for behavioral experts because it aims to offer a theoretical framework on trolling behavior encompassing personality traits, personal values, and reference groups. In the end, I will say that in today's current scenario, where a single negative comment can cause a big nuisance for corporate brands, the study will assist brand managers in developing profiles of their present as well as potential consumer active on social media platform. It will help them to distinguish between a seriously unhappy customer and just a troll. The above mentioned theoretical framework plays a pivotal role here. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And here I will conclude my presentation.
Thank you so much, ma'am. The next title of the paper is A Conceptual Framework, Antecedent, Personality Traits. Sorry for the inconvenience. The next title of the paper is Influencer Marketing, a Contemporary Marketing Tool by Shreya Kota and Dr. Tanmoy Day. I would like to request the presenter to kindly come forward for the presentation.
Yes, ma'am. Just give me 1 second to share my
Yes,
screen.
ma'am.
Can you let me know if it's visible?
No, ma'am, it is not.
Your voice is not audible, Shreya.
Okay,
Ma'am,
so
ma'am, please speak little bit louder.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, but keep the mouthpiece that way only. Then only you are audible.
Yes, sir. So, can you see it
5
now?
minutes plus 2 minutes is Shreya. Please start.
I'll start as soon as somebody confirms that they can see my screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, please start.
Yes. Firstly, I'd like to thank you all for giving me this opportunity, and without any further delays, I'm just going to start right off. My paper is titled Influencer Marketing, a Contemporary Marketing Tool. And as it suggests, I'm trying to probe into this medium as a marketing tool for marketers. And so some of the keywords are influencer marketing, social media, Instagram, and influencer.
Shreya, can you put it on a presentation mode? Your slides on presentation mode. They are not visible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that is correct. Press that. Yes, little bit.
Yes, sir. So through this paper, what I've tried to achieve was one, classify the various kinds of influencers, try and build a conceptual model around that. And secondly, try to understand and study how marketers can use influencer marketing as a promotional tool. So these are the two gaps that I tried to fulfill through this study. And as suggested earlier, the objectives of the study was one, to build a conceptual model to understand the kind of influences that we are finding on Instagram, and to try and create a framework as to how businesses can utilize this medium. So this was an observational study done to understand the content that influencers are producing, one, to understand the strategies that these content creators and how they're engaging with their audiences, and thirdly, to identify how this is being used as a business promotional tool. So in the research, what I found out was so the model that I built has 5 steps as to how businesses can use influencer marketing. Step 1 is finding the right influencer. So from the study, sorry. Okay.
Ma'am, you continue, please.
So from the study, what was identified is influencers are majorly in either of these 5 sectors: entertainment, fashion, celebrities, beauty, or lifestyle. Under entertainers, we have our YouTubers, our TikTok stars, and all of those. Under fashion, we have bloggers, models. And under beauty, we have our makeup artists and skincare experts. And lifestyle, we have our fitness gurus, our dietitians, nutritionists, and all of that. So the conceptual model that this paper talks about is on the basis of three things primarily: one being content, second artistic control, and the third is number of followers. On the basis of content, the way we've classified influencers is what medium they're using. So one, influencers either are using pictures, they're either using written formats to promote the brands, or videos. So the reason this is important is to try and is because brands must firstly understand the kind of content that they want these promoters to use. Is it a picture? Is it a written statement? Or is it a video? Nextly, artistic control. So under artistic control, we have three things. One is patron produce, collaboration, and brand produce. Under patron produce, brands are giving complete freedom for the influencers to post whatever kind of content they want and promote their product in any way that they want. Under collaboration, this is something that the brand and the influencer are coming together and deciding on what kind of content that they need to use. And lastly, brand produced is when influencers are just reposting, or they're just doing whatever it is that the brands want them to do. So these are very specific instructions that the brand is giving them, and they're just blindly following them. And lastly, on the basis of number of followers, we've tried to classify influencers as beginners with 500 to 5,000 followers, micro level 5,000 to 10,000 followers, mid level 10,000 to 50,000 followers, high level 50,000 to 100,000 followers, and experts are any influencer with more than 100,000 followers. So once the brands have identified the kind of influencer that they want to go with, the next step would be selection. So selection would be firstly, the brands have to identify the right influencer that caters to their particular target market. And on the basis of their budget and everything else, they need to select the right influencer. So one important thing to note is there is no tried and tested method. There's no algorithm to selecting the right influencer. It's a trial and test and iteration method. Nextly, under budgeting and management, there was this one study done which tried to understand the numbers that influencers are charging, the pricing strategies and all of that. So under that, they've also classified the amount that an influencer charges for each post that they make. On an average, the study realized that they're charging $271 per post. But for beginners, which is 500 to 5,000, they're charging $83 per post. And lastly, for experts, it's $760.
Ma'am, kindly conclude your topic.
Okay. So budgeting should be done based on all of this and the objectives that are set out by the marketers. Nextly, reaching out to the right influence. Once they've identified the influencer, they need to reach out either directly or through their managers. And lastly, tracking influencer marketing, either using very specific codes that they've allotted to each influencer, tracking their KPIs, or tracking URL campaign trackers. All of them can be used to track how effective this campaign has been. So the implication and significance of through the study, what was achieved was we have built a comprehensive structure that can help marketers understand the kind of influencers and what mechanisms or what methodology they must adopt to efficiently utilize this resource. And future studies can also be done on how to increase the number of Instagram followers and how our Instagram, how Instagram models, accounts and influencers are, you can monetize, and there's understanding KPIs to be tracked and all of that. So in conclusion, what we've tried to do is help build a conceptual model, one, and throw light on various attributes of an influencer and and contributions by examining various influencer profiles to build a model. That's it from my end. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. The next title of the paper is Digital Marketing, a Third Eye to Marketing in India by Ms. Aarti Verma and Mr. Navjot Singh. I would like to request the presenter to kindly come forward for the presentation. But before moving further, we want a permission from the respective panelists because one of the author is going to present the video of the another one for the presentation. Is it allowed?
Let first all the presentations be complete, which are
Yes,
lined
sir.
up.
Yes, sir.
Later we can, actually it should depend on your policy. Are you allowing permitting videos? Again, this is courtesy to this COVID era only.
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, we are left with this two presenters. One is the one we are talking about, sir, and the other presenter is Sangeeta Sharma ma'am, who was unable to connect with her voice. So she has asked me that
What is the duration of what is the
ma'am, sir, I have to ask. I have not seen the video. I'll ask Aarti ma'am to unmute herself and talk about it. Actually, she's getting disconnected again and again. So, sir, there's one more participant that I was talking about, Sangeeta Sharma ma'am, who was trying to present her.
So this is since she has already tried twice. So let's give the third and last chance to her to connect if she is not able to connect. And the next video presenter, since she is getting disconnected time and again, you can reschedule her to the next session, another session of marketing, so that we are able to conclude in time.
Okay, sir. So one more thing I want
I
to
hope
ask.
Professor Roberts agrees to this.
Sir, one more thing I just wanted to say, because she's unable to connect through the voice. So she was asking me if I can call her and put her on loudspeaker so that you people can listen to her and she can present her screen by the time. Can we
I
allow
don't know how it will work out. These are all trial and errors. Iteration, what the earlier presenter was saying.
Yeah, I understand that.
Regarding influencer, how to select influencer. Trial and iteration.
True, sir. I'll unmute her if she's able to speak and we can hear her. That would be great.
At least we should be able to make some sense out of it, no?
Yes, sir. Exactly. Sangeeta ma'am, I'm unmuting you. Please accept my request. I've unmuted her, sir. Am I audible to you, Sangeeta ma'am? Because you're not audible to us. No, we cannot hear you, Sangeeta ma'am. I'm really sorry. We can reschedule your presentation for tomorrow's session. Don't worry about that. We have other marketing sessions as well. So we can do that for you. Right, ma'am? And sir, that's all, but we have one more presenter left. She has joined just now. Earlier, she hadn't joined the session, but she's joined just now. So can we take her presentation?
Yeah, but we can take, this is the last presentation,
Yes,
I believe.
this will
so
be the
that,
last
no?
one. Yes, this will be the last one. Okay. Announce the name, ma'am.
The next title of the paper is A Study on Consumer Purchase Behavior Towards Product Advertised Through Influencers by Dr. A. Manasurali and Ms. M. Shanmugapriya and Mr. V. Harish. I would like to request the presenter to kindly come forward for the presentation.
Good morning, good afternoon, one and all present here.
Ma'am, please share your video and please switch on.
And share your screen as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. You can start now.
Can you see my presentation, ma'am?
You put it in presentation mode. Please click the radio button. Yeah, that is it.
Yes, sir.
So you have got 5 minutes plus 2 minutes. Please keep up with the timeline.
Sure, sir, sure. Thank you so much. So I'm Shanmugapriya Murugesan from PST Institute of Management, and I'm here to present a study on customer purchase behavior towards product advertised through influencers. And I'm on behalf of Dr. Mansurali and Mr. Harish, who are my professors and guide for this project. So the presentation flow goes this way: the initial problem statement, literature, research question, objective, research methodology, and the analysis. So basically, on what premise we have selected this particular topic is that there is a growth of social media everywhere, and but the people are becoming ad resistant because we are seeing ads everywhere, and there are sponsored content everywhere on the internet. So people are becoming ad resistant. So we wanted to study how the influencer marketing, which is a new way of marketing, is influencing the customer behavior than putting up a sponsored post by the brand itself. So the basic importance of the study comes like this. So 3.8 billion people around the world use social media every single day. And the marketers are seeing increased good potential towards the influencer marketing. And they are also feeling that the ROI in the influencer marketing is much better compared to the other marketing promotions nowadays. So that is why we have chosen this topic of interest. So this is basically the literatures that we have collected, and influencers are based on the literatures. We have identified that influencers are nobody, like they are just people with huge number of followers, and they can influence the purchase decision of the people. So that is the main point here, that how the influencers are actually influencing the purchase decision, and how this can be used in the advantage of the company and the management. The basic research question is that what is influencer marketing, and what is the idea of marketing, influencer marketing evolved, and the customer's interest in buying product, is it actually influenced by the influencer, and what are the factors that the company or the manager have to consider while looking at influencer marketing as one of the potential choices of marketing. So these are the basic objectives that our study addressed. So our study is basically a descriptive study, and we have both primary as well as a secondary study. The secondary study is in the form of survey, the literatures and the books which we have referred to. And the primary study is in the form of survey. We have a survey of around 180 people in the South Indian region, and we analyze the entire data on SPSS platform and using the Excel. We went for the judgmental sampling method because some people would not be aware of influencer marketing. So we wanted to eliminate those kind of biases. So we went for judgmental sampling and took those people who are aware of the influencer marketing alone. So this is the basic research framework of our influencer marketing. So we analyzed different factors to arrive at various insights. So basically from this diagram, we can see that people are spending more and more time online, and this can be effectively utilized by the marketers for their own advantage. So we can see that most people are spending more than 2 hours of time online every single day. And also the other part says that over 65% of the people are purchasing the products actually marketed by the influencer, which means that the influencer marketing has a huge impact on the audience as well as the customers. The more trust on influencers compared to direct brand promotions, the people feel that the brand promotions from the original company or the brand itself is less trustworthy while compared to the products marketed by the influencers. As influencers are people one among them, they feel that they are more trusty, and this is a greater advantage if being used by the marketers in the right way. And they also tend to recommend the influencer to their family or friends if they are coming. If it is if it is their favorite influencer, they would tend to introduce that influencer to their family as well as their friends. And often these people see influencer post and they do not feel it to be annoying. They actually expect the post from the influencers on a daily basis, and also they get the post on a daily basis in their feeds. And based on this analysis, we found that the respondents are willing to pay between 1,000 to 3,000 rupees for products marketed through influencer. So beyond 3,000 rupees, they have to think other factors also. But since it is within 3,000, the products that are marketed within 3,000 rupees would be really effective if it is done through influencer marketing. moving on further, the content preferred by the respondents from their influencer is that they wanted a mixed kind of content, that is not only the written or a video or photo kind of content. They wanted a mixed kind of content from their influencers on a daily basis. And also they tend to purchase more products in the areas of entertainment, fashion and food based on the preference of the influencers. And the influence of the influencer marketing is high in these three regions of entertainment, fashion as well as in food. And the respondents are a little afraid of the fake products that are circulating in the market. So from the influencer point of view, they have to select the proper product that they wanted to endorse. And instead of selecting fake product or any other product in the market, it would be better for them to maintain their followers as well as their image on the social media if they do not fall in prey for the fake products and all. So this is basically the hypothesis testing which we have done, and we have found that mostly all these, the gender and the reach of the influencer, relevance, trustworthiness, expertise of the influencer, and the type of product endorsed by them, everything influences the decision making of the people, and all these hypotheses are being accepted. So the basic implication is that influencer marketing is considered to be one of the cost-effective ways compared to the other marketing means, and it also has a wide reach. And through influencer marketing, we are able to target the customers very narrow, in a narrowed down way. So this seems to be a very good opportunity for the marketers to grab on. The scope of the study is that we have targeted only the South Indian region for this entire study, so we can extend the same research to the other geographical regions as well. And the customer field, customer attitude can be studied further, taking this study further. And this entire study is based on the point of view of the marketers and the managers of the company, which can also be developed in the perspective of the influencers as well. So that's it from my side, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now let us move on to the question and answers round. All the respected panelists are requested to put up questions for the participants and provide their valuable feedback for the same. So let's start with the keynote speaker, Dr. Robert L. Williams, sir. Sir, please.
Can you again repeat, Ankesha? Perhaps Professor Roberts has not heard
Hello.
you.
Yeah, hello.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Please start with your question and answers for the participants, and please provide your valuable feedback for the same.
Well, I think one of the very interesting things is, from my perspective, is to notice the differences between analysis here in the United States and analysis of a lot of the papers that were done primarily in the Indian market. For example, I know there were papers on malls and things like that, where here in the US, in part due to the retail landscape, in part due to the fact that we still have this crazy lockdown, the majority of people in the United States don't go to malls anymore. They don't leave their house. They have everything delivered by FedEx and Amazon. So it's quite interesting to see those differences. But on the other hand, the similarities are that people do use the internet. They are influenced by the internet and the digitization of economies in both countries. So it's quite interesting to see these papers and hear these presentations.
Sir, would you like to ask any question to the participants?
No, I don't have any specific questions at this time. I will be honest, I want to read the papers and go over them a little bit more detail. But at this point, I will yield to other questions.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for your valuable feedback. Moving on to the co-session chair, Dr. Somesh Dhamija, sir. Sir, kindly put up your questions for the participants.
Sure, ma'am. It is exactly not in the form of questions, but yes, of course, a few insights from my end. First of all, congratulations to the organizing team for organizing the event in so timely as well as covering such a wide variety, starting from food delivery till organic foods, and then coming to the banking sector, NFC payments, and then pandemic issues related to digitization, then telephone-based self-services, content marketing, digital marketing, fire, safety. So it was a long list and broad array of, domains which was covered very successfully in the entire session. So congratulations for that. And one important insight which we need to understand that countries like India or the developing nations which are still struggling or impacted badly because of this pandemic issue altogether need to strengthen our rural sector. Rural entrepreneurship is a way or a domain which need to be done now, on priority of policymakers as well as for the academicians. So I appreciate, I think Ms. Sangeeta Sharma touched that topic on social media marketing on rural entrepreneurs, and that was related to silk weavers. So in time to come, those who are really interested that rural entrepreneurship is a domain where a lot of work need to be done in coming days. And that will not only strengthen our economy in a way, but definitely that will develop a lot many means of employment. So which will definitely increase our economic condition at one aspect and will definitely bring prosperity, overall prosperity. Another issue if we talk about is now digitization in different domains. If we talk about like fire safety, someone touched, and organic food, someone touched. So related to this rural entrepreneurship now, organic food is a sector which is coming up and have a lot of scopes to come up. So what I understand that from these presentations itself, some of the candidates may go ahead in the terms of their PhD topics, their research topics, or their postdoctoral topics, and can bring out or can explore some new facts which can definitely contribute, help the policymakers to come up with the revised and better policy for the welfare or betterment of the masses. So once again, congratulations from my end for successfully organizing, and kudos to all the presenters for timely and nice presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your worthy feedback. Now, I would like to request the session chair, Professor Yogesh Upadhyay, sir, to please provide your valuable feedback.
So thank you, Ankisha. Thank you, Sonal. And thank you to all Prestige family to putting me on the chair. Perhaps I am locally sourced material. So in digital era, it won't matter much, even if I'm, because if you are able to source supply chain, if you are able to create nearby, but courtesy to digital, our supply chain can engulf whole globe. So I was privileged to have in my panel Professor Roberts, who delivered a very insightful opening lecture today, his keynote address on the digitalization and its impact on specifically on gastronomical tourism. And Somesh Dhamija ji, who gave a lot of tenets, interesting insights regarding the presentations and the digitalization and right now about rural entrepreneurship. So thank you, wonderful panel, and all the organizers taking pains in this era of COVID to organize using different means, We have to customize our language also if it is all online. So the phrases which have to be used online are really different which you use offline. So having said so, a couple of words for participants. I believe from research methodology perspective, uh, uh, most of them, we all are learners actually. And they must have paid some attention to the presentation of Ishita Bansal. So from that perspective, I believe the creation of research model, identifying right kind of research gaps, and structuring the whole argument. So all the presenter, if we keep, they were from the three stratas who were the beginners. Just now they have begun and try to do some descriptive kind of thing. And second level was people who are experimenting with some statistical tool. So interesting, somebody was telling in the very first paper, I believe, where t-test, I think they should revisit where t-test is used. Perhaps that is not the right fit. And they were mixing that PLS versus covariance versus variance PLS. So these all tools are really good, but it all depends on the context. Even ANOVA is powerful enough at times. Even regression is good. So don't be very mesmerized with the kind of statistical tools which are available, courtesy to the softwares which are available. Focus on picking up the right research problem. So apt research gap, I think half of the job is done. I believe 75% of the job is done if we are able to identify the apt research gap. And then you can even address it through t-test. So these use are so much fancied by this software and statistical tools which are available. And larger picture we have to take into account. So I also started career as others are starting and then gradually learned. So it was a whole learning exercise for me as well, and for must be for other researchers as well. So again, thank you very much, researchers who have come from participated in this presentation. Nobody has come from anywhere. So these are the phrases we have to acclimatize ourselves, no? So they are there and making presentation. Professor Roberts did not give us privilege because of COVID to welcome his and his better half to Gwalior once again. So next time we think so when the vaccine is out and proper injected, because in US it has already started. So we look forward to welcome him personally. And thank you, Professor Somesh Dhabijaji, once again. And thank you, great organizers. And thank you, all the participants, and best of luck. And God bless you all. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your words of wisdom. Now, I would like to request Dr. Sonal Saxena, ma'am, repeater of the session, to please deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Good afternoon to the dignitaries once again. It has been a wonderful session where the participants have shared some important insight of the research in different dimensions of marketing. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Professor Yogesh Upadhyay, session chair, for giving his valuable time to the session. I would also like to express my sincere thanks to Professor Somesh Dhamija, sir, for devoting his precious time. Special thanks to Professor Robert Williams, sir, for sharing his insight of the topic, and despite of the time differences that we have, he has joined the session.
Yeah, that I could not add actually.
Yes.
Thank you for adding that, Sonal.
Thank you so much, sir. And thank you to the participants who have been so enthusiastic to participate in the session and presented their papers so well. I'm also thankful to my co-reporter and the sponsor of the 12th International Conference, SBI. Thank you so much, all of you. It has been a wonderful session. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Yogesh, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
Lastly, but not leastly, I would like to thank each and everyone for joining with us this afternoon. Hope you all had a good time. Be safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Robert, sir.
Thank you.